There you go.
Yep, we're here with Alek,
Yeah.
Petrov. So you said you're from Russia or Ukraine?
So,
Say it again.
also Ukraine,
Okay.
Odessa, Black Sea.
When did you move to the United States?
It was 1999.
We were born that year, 1999.
Yeah,
What it was.
yeah, I moved in 1999. I was 12 years old.
Okay, what caused you to move?
So it was my parents were moving here. So they moved here. My older brother got married. He moved here in '98.
Mm-hmm.
So my parents and he was the first child, and parents hey, our grandkids, first grandkids, we got to be nearby our grandkids. So they moved here and they brought us to Seattle, Washington. And I wish we came to Florida right away, but we didn't. That's kind of a little bit regretting that part, but nobody knew it. But I lived in Seattle for till end of 2015, and then beginning 2016 moved down to California. I live in Sacramento, California.
Okay.
I lived there a little bit, and then moved down here in 2020, and don't regret it.
So you moved in the right time, and everyone's moving down here.
Everybody before everybody just moved here. Yeah.
When did you get into real estate?
Real estate, I've been flipping homes, wholesaling homes since I
Okay.
was 15. I've been to remodeling, started a family business of renovating homes. Seattle is different market, right? Like Miami. If you want to get a lot in Miami, it's impossible.
Yeah.
So what you do in Seattle, basically, you find a house with a lot that's buildable. You can build, divide on it. You just buy the house, divide the lot, flip this home, renovate it, sell it, and build new construction on this lot and sell it. So that's
give more value to the lot.
Yep. So that's where we started. That's how I got into real estate and wholesaling, finding homes that are in distress, making offers, get them off the market, and go from there. Move here to Florida. I live in Cape, and it just I had other businesses, Amazon. I had a trucking business, and so I got back into renovating homes, selling it. I'm like, why I got to pay a fee to another agent?
Exactly.
Where I just go past my test, and I already know the contracts. I already wrote the contracts. I already know from A to Z how the game plays. So I got into in 2020. I got into real estate, got my license, and
That's how it started.
And sold my Amazon, sold my trucking business, and just do full-time real estate.
Focus on the real estate part.
So I do 75% real estate, and then 25% is my renovation and construction.
Amazing. Yeah. We love renovation. We have a lot of renovation loans, so we love that aspect of it. I was gonna ask you. So you said wholesaling. You're just buying the properties and then you're fixing and flipping them, or you're getting it for like assignment fee and you're selling that from the investors.
No. I don't for myself.
For yourself.
Yeah, I just find the deals basically off the market.
Basically, you're just negotiating a better price for the deal for yourself.
Exactly.
So you're doing the real estate job.
Yeah, do a real estate job. Yeah.
Amazing.
Just did it without the license. Now I'm doing with the license, so it's good.
Perfect.
And sometimes, if I have, if for example, if my finances are tied up or my investors are tied up, I'll get a good deal. Then I'll find another investor that will pick it up, and then I'll just charge them fee, right? Obviously, make my commission one way or the other.
How many houses have you flipped since last year?
So when we started first year, we did 8. Then a couple, then we kind of let it slow down a little bit. Then last year was horrible. Last year was horrible. We did 4, and on 2 of them we went negative.
Okay.
So I stepped back. This year, so far we're in the second one.
Okay.
Yeah,
so how do you compare last year to what went wrong last year?
Last year, so we'll go up because last year's people still were in the trend of I want top dollar for my house.
Okay.
And then everything just went down. Then we had a Hurricane Ian, right? That took a big dip, and I had one of the properties that was in the market during the Hurricane Ian. Got more damage to it, so I had to put more cash into it. So basically, we barely survived through that one. So we kind of step away from that because we see more people want it. But then after Hurricane Ian came through, people got their insurances back. We started getting those nice homes.
Yeah, I mean it was very tough, right? With insurance and then all the damage the hurricane caused. But restaurants, they were in the water. They got demolished. So,
I took a month off, a month and a half off from work. I didn't do nothing. We just we had with our local community, we just grabbed a couple of trucks, 8-10 trucks, load up with the water, load up with the food, and start delivering to the Fort Myers Beach, going to places, delivering people. Northport that was under the water, was crazy. So that was like a whole month just volunteering, just taking people food and stuff like that. And people like, you should ask them if they want to sell the home. Like I can't do it, man. It's just you can't
to help.
People already down. You can't
time.
beat them that more down. You know what I mean? And there were some agents that did that, and thumbs up to them. You know, God bless their hearts. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, perfect. You know, it's always great to help the community.
Exactly.
So that's great. Okay, we can talk about a little bit about real estate now. I mean,
yeah, let's do it.
We're doing that. That's why we're here. So obviously, the hardest part in real estate, right, is getting clients, getting leads.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get your leads? What's your game plan for lead generation, and how do you get your clients?
I think there's a bunch of platforms out there for the lead generation. There is out there, right? The issue with the agents, it's a shiny objects. Mm-hmm. Scroll, right? Off they go. They jump from one lead generation to other lead generation to other lead generation, and they all want it now, right? So, you know, if I don't close the deal within the next 30 days, I move on to the next one. And sometimes it takes finance, sometimes it takes consistency, sometimes it takes time. And I was one of them before as well, and then I realized that time blocking, number one, mm-hmm. when you time block it, and then I started doing YouTube, which is it's long-term more of lead generation, mm-hmm. right? My first deal that I closed from my YouTube channel was, I think, 4 months of recording and producing video, one long-form video every single week. You have to. It's faithfully every Wednesday. I'm getting video posted, right?
What kind of content you create for YouTube? Are you focusing more on, like, let's say right now Naples here and pointing out the benefits of living here, the good weather stuff, or what are you focusing on YouTube?
Yeah, so there's, you know, obviously either your intro, obviously you're going to talk about, like, you know, you definitely want to create a one video that talks about you, right? A little bit more about yourself. Then, you know, 5 things to do in Naples, Florida, 5 things to do in Estero, 5 best restaurants to go visit, 5 best communities that you want to live into, and stuff like market updates, which is super easy. You can just jump on a computer and do the updates, talk about it. You find your niche, you find what's producing more. Like, every person has their own personality, right? And somebody will do really good open houses. Somebody will do really good on talking about restaurants and go visit places, right? Bars, whatever your niche is, and you just go with it. But it's more natural.
Right, exactly, yeah. So the idea here is someone that's looking to move to Southwest Florida, and they're gonna go on YouTube, look up some content, come to your content, and then, you know,
exactly,
you move from that point on.
Yeah, you don't.
How often do you post? How often do you create videos?
So I do 3 short videos, like 3 reels a week, mm-hmm. and then I do 1 long form video. And my usual goal is to do anything between 4 to 7 stories a day.
Okay.
My goal. Sometimes I do 3, sometimes I do 5. It depends. So so my YouTube is gonna be one of my lead generation platforms. Then my other one that I use is invaluable. Invaluable for agents is pretty cool, especially for like Southwest Florida.
I'm not familiar with that. What's invaluable?
Invaluable. It's a lead generation.
Okay.
You gotta have your own CRM.
Okay.
But the cool part about it, it's a Google PPC. They can do Facebook, they can do other platforms, but they're good with Google PPC. I've tried other ones, just don't want to say the names of them, and they were just horrible. And usually I will do a trial for 6 months. 6 months, usually I will know if it's a good platform or not.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot just test it out for a week or 2 and you're like, oh, this doesn't work. Well, you got to put the time and effort.
Yeah.
And try to see if it can get you some results or not.
Yeah, usually, like, if you get 100 leads, like the good leads, right? And I'm talking about like Facebook, when somebody just puts a fake name, fake information, stuff like that. Like really good funnel that will funnel down the lead is actually an accurate lead. You need to get about 100 leads in order to close 2 leads.
Yeah. Like,
if you're closing 3 to 4 leads out of every 100 leads, man, you're doing an amazing job.
Yeah.
It's impossible with the rates that we have today. Just impossible.
Yeah.
So I'm focusing more on YouTube and invaluable. Those 2 leads that the platforms that I use.
Amazing. For the YouTube content, I'm just gonna come back here real quick. So do you do your own edits? Do you hire someone to do those things for you? Do you delegate some of those things and you focus on what's more important? How does that work?
Yeah, so I think for any agents or anybody wants to try the YouTube channel, if that would be in the lending world, right, or real estate world, for selling, whatever you're doing, I think to try it at first, right, to get a couple of videos under your belt, You can do it yourself. But if you're like top producing agent and you don't have time for it, and you have family, you have friends to go out to, you can do it two ways. You can hire somebody that will do the editing for you, and they will post for you, and they'll do all the CEOs, all the whistles and blows, whistles and thumbnails they put up for you, and you can hire somebody else to do it for you, and they'll post it, everything. All you have to do is just sit down and record. Or you can hire a company that will just do editing for you. They'll do the editing for you, they'll give you the video, and you do the posting, and you do the rest of the stuff.
Yeah.
I started myself because I did it when I went to college. At community college, I got myself, I was in video marketing and I did video classes and stuff like that, so I already knew how to use Premiere Pro, the cuts, the Final Cuts. I already knew how to use it. I already knew how to record the videos, so I can do less editing, right? And from that point on, I did a couple of them. Like, okay, it's time to move on and have somebody else do the video editing for me. It was like a $395 a month.
Yeah.
And they'll do videos for me, and I get usually 2-3 days turnaround. I get a big video and 2 short videos for it. So I did that for 6-7 months, and then I noticed like the SEOs and putting thumbnails and getting all this schedule. I tried Loomly, I tried different platforms that you can pre-schedule it. I'm like, I'll just pay $900. I pay a month. They do all the posting for me.
They do all the work,
and do everything. I'll just record, upload it to Google Drive, and that's it.
Amazing. I'm sure that's helpful for someone that's newer, it's listening to this in the real estate, and it's very important to get on those platforms because, like you said, especially YouTube, it's evergreen. You're gonna get leads for it in the years to come.
Yeah.
People would always search for the content.
Yeah, there's videos like it's like okay, you're gonna go door knocking, all right? If you're gonna do open house, you're gonna do door knocking. How many doors are you gonna go through? How many doors you will knock on?
Well, you're gonna knock on maybe 5, 10, and then you're gonna get discouraged because you're gonna get effed off or whatever. So that's the thing.
Yeah, right. Okay, fine. You'll do 100 doors, all right? 100 doors you'll do. Maybe you pick up a lead. Maybe maybe you get a deal from that, and that's it. It's done, right?
Yeah.
You got one deal.
Or you have to do it again.
Yeah, then you have to do it again, right? So and 100 doors. How many hours that's gonna be? Okay, let's say 3 hours. It'll take you 3 hours to do it. Well, first video, you're probably going to take you about 2 hours to record it. You do the editing another 2 hours.
Yeah.
All right, so 4 hours. But if you do really good content, if you see what other agents are doing it and they're doing a good job on it, you recreate the same video, duplicate it. Go to somebody who does videos in Austin, Texas,
right,
Miami.
Right.
See which one produced the most. Do the same thing.
Yeah.
Just put your spin on it. Go out there, put out there.
Exactly, yeah.
And you get thousands.
You don't have to recreate the wheel. Everything has been invented already. I've seen your post, your reel with shooting the content, and then instead of putting the house tour, you focus on yourself. Like, ooh, it's nice. So I've seen that reel maybe multiple times, but it works. It works. You got so many views and likes, right?
Yeah, I mean, dude, like I got one video, I think it's like 9,000 views now, and I got already 4 clients from it.
Well,
I'm not door knocking.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they underestimating the power of YouTube. And there's so much we can talk about. There's like advertisement that you can do behind it. Behind it is something like a very short in the neighborhoods, right? Especially if you're farming neighborhoods, you're not doing YouTube. I'm sorry.
So you think that strategy of like farming neighborhoods, sending mailers, all that stuff is not going to be as effective as you focus more on YouTube or any other social media for that matter?
For example, for me, right? I know people are farming. They go out there and do events, stuff like that. What I'm concentrating now, like I do two neighborhoods farming, right? The last video that was done in that neighborhood, it was over a year ago. So if I start creating more videos about the neighborhood and what's coming, what's changing is coming, and that community is 55 and over, and you have people, there's a condo, there's villas, and there's homes. People buy a condo, snowbirds, they buy a condo, they come here, then they fall in love with the community. Then they're like, okay, the condo is too small for me, I want to buy a villa. So now you're selling their condo, you're buying them a villa. And then they retire, they're like, okay, I don't want to have a neighbor next door, I want to buy a house. So they sell the villa, they buy a house. So I'm like, I look at that, I did all the research on it, I'm like, dude, this is crazy. And all I have to do is just get in there, start doing recording videos, and start advertising, and put the money that you spend on the mailers, printing, the stamp and everything, put it on YouTube. It won't cost you much per click. You just put on YouTube, run that. That's it. You're done.
I mean, it's super expensive to send mailers to communities.
Yeah.
10,000 mailers. How much would that cost? Like
So I mean, well, how much? It's like a stamp, right? It's about 35 cents, 40 cents a stamp, and then you get a print out, or you get a 26 print.
Yeah.
So that's right there. It's 130 bucks, and then it's about $300 it'll cost you, right? To send
at least we'd say $2 or $3 per. I'd say at least $2 per mailer, right?
Yeah. So
it's 1,000 is like $2,000. It doesn't cost you that much to do a YouTube video.
If you put $2,000 on ads on YouTube, man, you're gonna get. I would think probably if it's a good content, you'd probably get 5 good leads out of that. So
there you go.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, like so far, my whole content that I pay for, all the marketing, I pay for everything, it's already paid in. I think my next whole year is gonna be fine. Yeah. Too.
Amazing. So now you explain the process of actually getting people interested in maybe selling the home. When we do have someone to sell the home,
okay.
What do we do here? Someone calls in, is like, I think this is where maybe 20-30% more than it is. What do you do? How do you overcome that?
Yeah, so somebody calls me like, hey, I think it's my house worth. There's my neighbor sold this much money, and my house worth a lot more just because of this, done that. I see the house, right? I'll ask them which house it is. What was home that you sold it? And I'll tell them, hey, do me a favor, send me just quick picture of a kitchen, bathroom, couple wall, and outside. Like, get on the street and take a picture. Usually, when they send me that, I already know exactly what have they done. Like, oh, I changed out the faucets. Cool. $20 a faucet, right? It's not gonna increase the value by $5,000, $10,000, right?
Yeah.
The curb appeal sucks, right? You're like, okay, we need to spend a couple grand, to make a curb appeal nicer. This house has a better curb appeal, right? So like, I get that information out of them first. I usually don't get into engagement of the value of their home and try to prove a point to them. My goal is to get into the house and walk through the house and actually see in person. Number one. Number two, then I usually do, some people look at the price they sold, I don't. Because like I said, my background of selling and building homes, reselling properties, I look at the price per square foot.
Okay.
That's the
more important.
More important, yeah, because you look at the price per square feet, you get a more accurate price on the home. And you get to see like, okay, cool, you got a kitchen updated it, but is it a trend? Is a kitchen something that's gonna be, right? If you put the kitchen this color, no offense, anybody who's watching like this color, but if you put this kitchen, right, and then next door has a white shakers with the blue navy blue island, with the nice crowns and the LED lights under it, right? You put this one, then you put a granite, dark granite on top of it, right? You're like, oh, right?
Yeah, it's outdated right off the bat.
It's right off the bat outdated, right? Yeah, it's a soft closed doors and stuff like. Yeah, but it's just the rails. You can replace the rails, and you got to soft door closed the cabinets, right? So like those things, you got to look at it, right? And so I take the price per square foot, and in the market, I look at whatever sold, the price per square foot is sold.
So that's the most important thing.
Yeah, for me, that's how I do market analysis, like CMAs. Of course, obviously I'm gonna pick out the homes. I will show them and tell them what I think about it. But the hardest one is the overpricing part.
Yeah.
People want.
I mean, if you overprice the home as a realtor, I mean, you know that eventually you have to drop, the price down.
Yeah, and you're hurting property.
Yeah, because now they're seeing that the price has been dropped. They can even lowball you a little bit, right?
Well, if you get a lowball offer.
Is it better to price the property? I mean, obviously I know the answer. Of course, it's better to price the property right, that you can sell it. But what if you price it, what are the consequences of pricing the property over price? So, over what it's worth?
You're hurting the listing.
In what way?
You're hurting your own property. Is because, first of all, they see what's sold in the neighborhood. And if you are 50 grand over asking, and it depends what price range, right? If you're $1 million up above, a home sold it for 1.5, you put your in the market for 1.9 just because you change out the faucets. Okay, all right. You put a new hose, you put a new pavers, right? And you 1.9. You're like, that's a big jump, right? I mean, you can replace a lot of stuff. You can put a new lanai. You can do a lot of stuff. But now you put out there. People, they're not going to look at it because they sold 1.5. He's a cocky person, and I don't want to deal with that, or I don't want to go look at him. So now you're at the mercy of someone wants that location They want exactly that home layout. They want exactly to be that place.
Yeah.
And the chance of that, it's very little, very little. So you're hurting that, and the more days in the market it stays, the less people want to come back and see it.
So the property is 100 days on the market, you say, oh, something is wrong with it.
And right? then you do pricing. Then you do pricing reduction, and the people see you becoming desperate.
Yeah.
So more price reduction you do, the people that want to buy, they see more desperate. They'll come back and do, even if they do a global offer. I had a few clients that had overpriced, and I coached them, I teach them, I showed them, I explained it to them, and they're still like, no, we're not budging. I'm like, well,
okay.
That's it.
Like, I can put a listing on MLS, but don't expect me to sell it as quick, right?
Yeah, the listing expired, then I did it like for 3 months straight. I had 2 listings. There was a condo, one on the second floor, one on the first floor, and I even paid other agents to help me do open houses. Mm-hmm. I did open houses Saturday, Sunday for 3 months straight, almost every week.
Just to try to sell it.
I got a bunch of buyers for other places, but everybody's saying they're overpriced. So you're hurting the listing pretty bad. So I definitely recommend it not to overprice it. There's other way you can do. You can do lower price.
Yeah.
When you list it.
Have a buyer. Let's say obviously everyone wants to get the deal and maybe even offer less than what the property is going for. So what's your approach to that? How would you consult with your buyer?
With the price, it depends. So if it's a loan, it's going to be cash. That's different, right?
Okay.
So it's
different. What's the advantage of going cash?
Well, cash you don't have to pay all the mortgage insurances. You don't have to pay that. Then you can get a better deal on the closing prices, right? You can close faster as well, and you don't have to all these fees to lenders to pay. Right?
Lenders, okay.
To lenders to pay, right? So that part. But again, all the people will say, hey, why should I use my money if I can just use somebody else's money?
Yeah. And there's definitely tax benefits of, going to mortgage and financing the property instead of just buying it cash. But
some people just don't want to have the mortgage over their head,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
So it's whatever personal perspective, personal desires, it's whatever, right?
I would say maybe it's especially more common for people coming from our countries. Yeah. I just want to own it, I just want to...
Yeah, I think differently. Like, okay, I got this money, I can buy a house for $500K. Cool. What about I do $250 down, and then do another $250 and buy something else and rent it out?
Yeah.
All right, and then
cash flows,
Cash flows. You got the equity growing in both properties, and you're making money, right? So that's a different perspective on it. But how I overcome it is usually right now you see properties, especially if it sits long time in the market, you can probably reduce by 5% easy. A few months back, 2 months ago, it was usually like 96%, 97% sale price, so you reduce it by 3-4%. Now it's 5%. If it comes in cash, you can reduce
even
more.
Lower.
Yeah, I do have one right now. Buyer, he's wants to buy it at one of the lakes. He's like, well, if I go to a builder gives me 20% off. But if I go in the market and buy it for cash, and this properties are $560, and he sends me the breakdown, I'm like, bro, the builder is giving you a price for a home with a pool, $700,000, and then he's reducing to $560. You're already getting a better deal if you're going to buy a home that's 1 year old.
Yeah.
At $540, and then if you get a cash, so we can reduce it more down to $510. Right.
With the builder perspective from it is like they have all these fees, they're bumped into the price. They're not gonna show it that you're paying those fees and stuff, but they'll
add up
in the price. So, but just the way you see it, I see loan estimates all the time where you can see, you get 5.5% from the builder. Yeah, but like you're paying for the points for that. I can give you 5.5% right now, but you have to pay 15,000, 20,000, to get that lower. Yeah. So it's just that you gotta take a look at the document and see actually what you're signing. Yeah. For that perspective.
Yeah, but anybody right now, like I tell them, hey, listen, like, we want our budgets. There's always tell don't max it out your loan. If your loan is 500, your loan is 1 million. I got pre-approved at 1.5. Did I buy a 1.5 home? No.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why am I buy myself $600,000 home, nice property, a shop, a pool? That's all I need. Yeah. That's what I feel comfortable in. So that's what I tell all the buyers. Don't max it out. Let's get you lower.
In 90% of the cases, you're gonna be qualified for more money than you can afford. Yeah. So it's not the best option always to max out, like you said.
Yeah, like right now I have a client right now that's he wanted to buy it for cash, then he want to be like get into like more in the rental property, and be in the water and stuff like that. I'm like, well, we have to go up. We got to get you loans, so we got him approved for 1.3. Look at the homes at 1.2. Got him for 1.75, 0.075. So for 1.1, I got him good, like, reduce price by 125. So it's you can reduce price.
There's a huge,
especially like from the background that we come from, the negotiation. We all have this saying. I don't know if you guys have the saying. For asking, you're never gonna get punched in the nose. Some agents like, well,
have a deal?
I don't want I don't want to lowball it, right? If you feel offended, I usually call the agent. If I'm representing the buyer side, I call the agent. I'm like, hey, I don't want to offend you in any way. Here's the offer we want to submit. Will this offend the seller? If this offends the seller, you know the seller more than I do. If this offends the seller, I'll bump it up by $25,000. About it, right? But that's what's coming. Okay, well, they're going to say no?
Yeah.
Okay, well, they say no. Then you just go back to your seller, to your buyer, be like, hey, they said no, he's going to offend them. All right, let's bump it up to $25K. It's simple as that. And if I'm representing the seller side of it, and they call me and start asking me, like, hey, just submit an offer, man. Just submit an offer that you think that's the house worth for it. That's it. I don't care. I'll make it work.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay, I think we're closing on I mean, we're almost done with our time here. The last thing.
Yeah.
If you had to, let's say, redo everything again right now, start in being a newer agent, what would you do? What would you focus on mostly? I mean, I think that I know the answer because we talked about social media and stuff. But give us your opinion.
What I would do over again if I was a new agent, I would actually freaking do my CRM, get my CRM correctly, the whole database. Put your client's information in there from a get-go. Put the information in there, A to Z, their birthdays, their emails, their addresses, and build the platform and build out the smart plans for each client. Right? Get the CRM. It's your bread and butter. End of the day. That's one thing I screwed up.
So I feel like that's gonna be the one thing that's gonna keep you, on track with them.
Yep.
Sending them
all
birthday.
the CRMs are pretty good. That you stay in touch. You touch the clients 36 times a year. You expose to them. Any YouTube videos you put out there or any social media you put out there. You send them email, mass emails, Christmas cards, stuff like that. Any big events that happen in your life. Got married, you got a kid coming up, right? I have a kid coming up, so he's give birth. He gives birth. I'll probably create a photo and then send it out to all my clients. Hey. Look, got a Ford boy, yay, right?
Yeah, you're touching on human base.
Yep, human base, personal. So that's what I would do if I would be a new agent. I would look into getting my CRM and build out the CRM the correct way.
Amazing. That's super helpful for someone that's restarting.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for
thanks for having me, guys. I
tonight.
appreciate it. Yeah.